Let's talk about the skill ceiling of Bioshock 2. So the skill ceiling of a game is very often a theoretical maximum amount of competence at a game, right? It's like the highest level you can take something. Now in competitive games, the skill ceiling is often infinite or virtually infinite, where players can just continue to improve. So this is true in the case of like chess, in the case of FPS games, in the case of pretty much any game where skill is involved. You can always get better, you can always do things more optimally. The sky is the limit. In the case of Bioshock 2, I guess you could argue that the skill ceiling is infinite because just like with anything, you can always improve. But I would say the skill ceiling, like in general, is around 100 hours or less, maybe like 50 to 100 hours of playing the game. I wouldn't say I'm at it right now, but when I actually play through the game, I'm pretty good at consistently landing headshots with all the weapons, and I'll like kind of outline what the skill ceiling entails. So like right there, that was a few rivets just to kill these dudes. The skill ceiling in this game, in my opinion, boils down to a few basic things. One of them is headshotting. So your ability to consistently land rivet headshots, shotgun headshots. The shotgun does deal scale damage on headshot, and most importantly, spear gun headshots. The spear gun is this game's crossbow. It's insane. It's arguably the best weapon in the game. It one-shot headshots most foes as you upgrade it and get Headhunter, and it's just an insanely powerful weapon with, in my opinion, the best secondary ammo types, both of which can single-handedly kill big daddies on their own without any help from any other weapons or plasmids or like the environment. So for example, let's get a headshot. And you can recover your ammo, which is a huge upside to the weapon. It also has pretty good upgrades. So let's actually upgrade it right now. So the zoom increase isn't really that good. The acceleration upgrade is, though. I think it, yeah. Hold on, let me see. That's for much faster. Yeah, decreased refire. So you want to get the spear upgrade, or the zoom, just so you can get the decreased refire, which allows you to shoot one-shot headshots against most foes more rapidly. Obviously, it won't one-shot big daddies, but the alternate ammo types kind of allow you to do that. So the skill ceiling, in my opinion, entails positioning. So positioning is in a fight, whether it be a harvesting session or just like killing ambient enemies, your ability to use cover to avoid enemies, to reposition enemies using terrain so they have to kind of come to you, or just using terrain to like block bullets as you're approaching enemies. So like that would be, so let's like actually go in here and I'll try to come with a real life example. Alright, so there's a gift. So for example, I'll grab this, great. If there was an enemy over here shooting at me, and I just run straight at it, I'm just gonna get shot the whole time. But if I start going this way, like let's say the enemy is right here, and if I run straight at it, I'll get shot. If I start going this way, as it's shooting at me, I can probably close the distance gap a little bit. Maybe it feels like right here, but it's kind of hard for this. Let me just find some enemies. Positioning, alright, here we go. So like right now, should I engage them like this, or should I engage them like this? This is positioning. This is positioning in a nutshell. So instead of just standing out in the open and shooting them and getting shot, I'm going to use cover, and in the first guy's case, I aggressively peeked him, picked him off, and then the second guy, I just stayed in the same position, waited for him to peek me, and then I shot him when I had steady crosshair. It was much easier to aim. So that's positioning, right? It's like using cover. So like for example, you could do something like this, and like peek up. You can peek like this. You can hold an angle like this where like almost none of your hitbox is visible. You can ADS and make like trick shots. You can like do jump shots over things. Positioning is huge in every FPS game, and it'll always help you play more optimally. Aim obviously is the other part. How well and consistently you can score headshots in this case. Using plasmids. So let's fight this. Okay, that's scripted. I was gonna say let's fight this Houdini splicer, but the scripted event first. So using plasmids, comboing plasmids, that's definitely part of skill ceiling. Taking advantage of your environment is also part of skill ceiling, so shocking dudes in water, hitting things in oil slicks with fire. These are basic examples of utilizing your environment. So this game does reward both raw skill, you know, just landing headshots and having good positioning, as well as tactical skill, which is like the chess type of skill. So like chess, even though like Blitz, for example, might have some degree of mechanical requirement to execute, to move the pieces rapidly and to hit the clock in real life, most of chess skill comes from experience, knowledge, and tactical skill. So this game has a high degree of tactical skill. So you can really take advantage of your environment and your abilities. So that's definitely part of the equation for the skill ceiling. Another part would be hacking, hacking optimally. So for example, I can go for the green, and then if I go for the blue, whoops, I actually messed up there. If you go for the blue, you get a little bit extra of a reward, whether it be items or a, what is it? Hold on, what's switching? So you either get items, or if it's like hacking a bot, it'll be a stronger bot. Or if it's a turret, it'll be a stronger turret. It'll be hacked with more damage and health. In this case right now, I'm abusing the fact that triggered alarms, like the bots, have to follow you. So very often you can avoid them for most of the duration of the alarm just by repositioning. Oh. There we go. Now I hacked them, so now they're mine. So I turned a mistake into, like, essentially what is tempo. So in chess, tempo is when you make a move that forces your opponent to react to it. So for example, developing a piece with check is tempo. Check meaning the opponent's king is attacked and they have to do something, put a piece in front of it, move the king, and so on. So I basically turned a mistake into an advantage. And this game has a lot of things like that, so it's actually pretty good, pretty well made. There's also the ammo types, so knowing your ammo types, knowing your resources, managing your resources, these are all things that are part of the skill ceiling. So right now, like just like a few minutes ago when I hacked, or went to hack the Circus of Value and I had messed up and triggered an alarm, that's kind of part of the risk versus reward of hacking for going for the free items. Sometimes those items are worth it. And in this case, it's kind of worth it. It's an Eve hypo, so I can pick that up later. But yeah, so I do like what they did with this. In the first game, that's not an option. You just hack something or you don't. So there's like this extra skill ceiling element of hacking that I greatly appreciate. And like, here's the thing. You can make it so it's kind of moderately difficult or easy to hack things, but adding that extra bit where players can optionally pursue a challenge, that's always welcomed for me. But also it does increase the game's skill ceiling. So okay. What's another thing part of the skill ceiling? Managing resources, that's huge. Setting up like mini turrets and trap bolts, or trap rivets, and like the trap spears from the spear gun for harvesting sessions. Doing this optimally contributes to the part of the skill ceiling as well. Taking on big enemies, using all of your things effectively. That's basically what skill ceiling boils down to, is using things effectively. But aside from headshotting, hacking, positioning, and tactics, I think that's pretty much it for the skill ceiling of the game. Exploration and acquiring resources, you could argue, is part of it, but that's more of like a thing you have to do anyways, rather than something that gives you like an explicit. I mean, I guess it does give you an advantage because you get items and resources, but it's not needed. Dang, is there? Okay, that was just a bad shot. There we go. This isn't the most accurate at range. It can't. Actually, that's not necessarily true. It's pretty accurate. I'm a little rusty with this weapon, so that's my fault completely. So let's see how accurate it actually is. I'm gonna shoot at this J, or this period. Oh yeah, that's pretty accurate. All right, I was missing. See, that's another thing too. I like when things aren't super random. It's your fault if you miss. Here we go. Switch to normal rivets. Big Daddy right there. So touching base with the tactics aspect of the skill ceiling, Big Daddy fights definitely play a role in that. This is a bouncer. So I think they have they shoot their thing at you now, like every now and again. So let's say we want to take this on. Let's just shoot it. So bouncers are what? Melee, right? They have to hit me physically. So the big downside of the bouncer is that it has to path to get to me, which it's having a fun time doing, as you can see here. I think I broke it. So that was weird, huh? Why did that happen? It's trying to path to me. I'm constantly shooting it. I'm in a position where it can go either way to path to me. But also its AI kind of broke when it got stuck on those turrets. So I basically abused the fact that bouncers suck at fighting you when you're on top of something. Like if you're out, like, you know, up some stairs. So even if it would have got to me, I just would have did this. Then I would have had to path all the way around, and then I just would have did this. And when I kept doing this, then it probably would have never hit me. So that's part of the tactical aspect of the game, like the tactical aspect of the skill ceiling. Also, they don't necessarily have a weak point either. So yeah, that is Bioshock 2's skill ceiling. Overall, and then of course for like a harvesting session, let's say I want to like start setting up a trap. Maybe I like set some trap bolts out. Oh yeah, that's right, you can't cycle through like in Bioshock 1. You can set some of these out. These are usually best used on big daddies and big sisters, but let's see if I can crouch underneath these. This is a thing I like to do. That was too, there we go. Being able to crouch underneath them is useful, because then as enemies run in, unless they like run down like this, which they shouldn't, they should run down like that, they'll get hit by the trap bolts. So yeah, optimal placement of traps and planning, definitely part of the skill ceiling. And that's pretty much all I have to say about the skill ceiling of Bioshock 2. I think this will be our thumbnail. Nice little ceiling. Actually, let me take this out. Get a nice little... Actually take the screenshot right now. There it is. Alright, thanks for checking this out, and I'll see you in the next one.